Hello there and welcome to a how-to video. Well, today's video is how to fit the brand new 2025 Vision Plus Status 570 combined radio, TV and Wi-Fi antenna. Well, I've been waiting for a manufacturer to release a product like this for a good while now. That's so I don't have to drill an extra hole to fit an extra antenna on the Caravan roof. This combined Wi-Fi antenna will bring in a mobile signal to a router. It'll give me Wi-Fi similar to broadband at home, but the router will require a SIM card. We've always used our personal hotspot on the phone to connect our iPad, but the problem we encounter sometimes on site is a weak signal inside the Caravan, basically because the Caravan is a metal box. And when the blinds are down, which are silver backed, it further reduces signal strength and it creates a Faraday cage effect. It's a bit like putting your car key in a Faraday pouch which is lined in conductive material which blocks the signal, and it stops thieves cloning the key. And the Faraday cage effect is annoying because we've even experienced not being able to make or receive phone calls. There are two kits on offer, the first one being the upgrade kit. That's if you want to replace your existing status directional antenna, like I'm going to do. And secondly, there's the full kit, which I purchased here. Over and above the upgrade kit, you get the brand new VP5 TV amplifier and the roof mounting kit. Well, I didn't need the full kit because I don't need the roof mounting kit, but I did want the latest VP5 amplifier. I've gone for a white antenna to replace like for like, but you can also get black, and I've gone for a 5G system, but you can also get a 4G. My full kit 5G cost me $695. The upgrade kit is $630, so basically it's cost me £65 just to get the latest amplifier. There's also the 4G kits and they're £200 cheaper. Well, I thought while I'm laying this sort of money out, I might as well future-proof myself. That's the front of the box. And that's the rear of the box. Right, let's have a look and see what's inside. We've got the router, power base for the router, TV amplifier with 12 volt connector wire and a coax fly lead. This might be upside down. It is. Roof fixing kit and the antenna and pole. Here's a quick look at the instructions. You can pause and read it and zoom in if you need to, and I'll turn it over. Well, looking at the instructions, the first thing I've got to do is insert the drive shaft into the gearbox and rotate this vertical. Well, it comes with the Allen key to take the drive shaft out of the mast. That's that. Insert that in there. Rotate it anti-clockwise so it's vertical. Take that out. Insert the drive shaft back into the mast. Put the lock nut back in. Just going to put a bit of masking tape around these two Wi-Fi antenna leads around the TV coax. And what I need to do now is thread this down the mast. The next instruction is to use a bit of soapy solution around these 3 O-rings. I'm using some washing up liquid. Don't use anything oil based. I've got to insert the drive shaft down there and align the fixing hole. I'll put the lock nut in. I've lost my Allen key. You have to make sure these 2 M5 bolts, the one at the bottom and the one at the top, are flush with the mast so that it doesn't damage the gaiter as you drop it through the roof. The roof mounting sleeve, well, I don't need this because I'm doing a straight swap with the status aerial I've already got in the Caravan. But you would need this if you were, say, for example, doing a conversion of a camper van, motorhome, or changing the brand or type of aerial you've got in your Caravan. So for this reason, I'll quickly demonstrate how you would fit it. The centre of the hole for the mast should be at least 65mm in from the wall, and you do get a cutout template that you can place up to the ceiling and up to the wall, and that gives you the centre of the hole. Here are your instructions for hole cutting. Just make sure there's enough room in your cupboard to lower the mast into its travel position. Take off the locking collar, take off the locking plate, slide on the foam seal that comes in the kit, like that. Core a hole through the roof with a 50mm diameter hole saw. Imagine that being the ceiling. Drop this through the hole. There you got your foam seal there. You put your locking plate on. And from outside you put 4 screws in through those holes and 3 screws into the ceiling through those 3 holes. And the screws are all in the kit. Drop the mast through, put your locking collar on. And also in the kit, if you don't fit the aerial or you take the aerial out for some reason, you've got a blanking plate to seal the hole up. Right, I'll get the Caravan pulled out and get the antenna changed. My first job is to take out the old aerial, and that means disconnecting the aerial coax lead from the TV amplifier. Well, these are F connectors, which means they screw on. They're generally finger tight, but if I did need a spanner, it's an 11mm spanner, and that fits on perfectly there. But mine are finger tight, so I'll just undo that. That's off. And then I'm going to take out those 4 clips holding the coax lead to the wall, so I need a screwdriver. Take the clips off the lead. Next, I'm going to undo the lock nut. Just lift the aerial up. Take the coax lead out of the lock nut. And next job is to go outside and lift the aerial out. Simply lift the mast out of the sleeve, and that's the mast out. Just need to pull the cable out now. Right, we'll go back into the garage. Here's a like-for-like comparison, the left one being my old one. I don't know what the model number is because there's no markings on it. And the right one being the new 570. and here you can see the size difference, and the new one is slightly lighter. This is the difference in the length of the coax lead. Well, the new one is 960mm long, but the old one is 450mm longer. Right, I'll get this new one fitted. I'll lower the cables down. Now the mast. That's it, let's go back inside. Mustn't forget to put the lock nut back on. Lift the mast back up. Thread the cables through the nut. Drop the aerial and lock it off. That's the aerial installation complete. The 12 volt power's turned off, so the next job is to change the TV amplifier. So what I'm going to do is pull out the 12 volt power connection, disconnect the TV coax and disconnect the radio coax. Push that down there so we know it's the radio, and then 2 screws hold it to the wall. When we first purchased the Caravan brand new, it came with the VP3 amplifier, and it's got a variable gain control there. A few years later, but before I started doing YouTube at the end of 2018, otherwise it would have featured in a video, I changed the VP3 to a VP5, and that's got an LED that changes colour to find the best signal. So when you rotate the aerial, it goes from red to amber to green to tell you it's got a good signal, which was very useful. But now I'm going to fit the latest amplifier. It's the latest VP5 stroke C1. So let's have a look to see what's in the pack. This is what you get in the pack: the Vision Plus 5 Class 1 amplifier, a sticker, the 2 fixing screws for the amplifier, a coax fly lead, a 12 volt connection lead, and a couple of coax converters or adapters. This is a comparison of all 3 amplifiers, and you can see the improvements over the years. Well, all 3 amplifiers have got a variable gain control. The new VP5 has got 3 TV outlets, whereas the other 2 have got 2 outlets. So the VP3 has got a single on-off LED. The old VP5 has got a colour changing signal finding LED. And the latest VP5 has got a strip of LEDs to give a better indication of signal strength. And on the top there you can see the on-off switches. Right, I'll get this fitted. So the screws should go in the same holes. That's in that one. And that's in that one. Put the radio lead on. TV lead on. 12 volt power. Plug that in. And for the moment, I'll put the new antenna lead in. I'll go and turn the 12 volt on and we'll see if it powers up. Turn the switch on. Yeah, there you go. What I'm going to do now is look at the router, and it comes with a separate power base. Looks like the power base comes with a 12 volt power lead, a couple of fixing screws, and that's the power base. They look like the fixing holes, so 2 screws there, on-off switch, 12 volt power socket, and I suspect that powers the router. This is the router. What's under here? Oh, we've got a USB lead. USB-A to USB-C. They're the antenna connections. SMA they're known as. So they, I think they're a couple of jumper leads. Some instructions and the router. So that must, oh, there you go. And there's a display there. So here's everything you get out of the boxes. So these are the jumper leads for the antenna connections. That is the USB charging port. So this here plugs into there, or you can charge it remotely using the provided USB lead. But they also say you can use that for CDC, change data capture. I think that's something to do with tethering off a laptop, as an example. Going back to the back of the box, here's some technical data on the router and amplifier. And the router is unlocked to accept any SIM. Let's go back in the Caravan and see where I can position the router. I've decided on the position of the router. Well, I could have put it there, but I didn't want all the dangling wires, so I've decided to put it on that back wall and cover those two holes left over from the cable clips. I've put two vertical pencil marks there, and it covers those two holes nicely. What I'm going to use is double-sided tape so that I don't make more holes in the wall. Before I stick the base onto the wall, I've got to pull this out. Just makes it easier doing it first, and plug that into the router. That powers the router. Now I'll take the backing paper off the double-sided tape and we'll stick it in place. Just leave it there before I press it on. Just check it with the level. I'll take the router out, just press it in position. That's solid. Check the vertical. Yeah, that's spot on. The Caravan, I know the Caravan's level, that's spot on. And horizontal, that's spot on. And there's room for to clip the router on. Actually, I didn't need to stick the base on with a router fixed to it, but never mind, it's on now. I've had to come out at sun. Anyway, back to router. These jumper leads, I think these are called TS9 connectors, and they push on there, like that. Like I said earlier, that's the USB-C charging socket, and then on the other side we have the SIM card slot and reset button behind that cover, on-off switch, and the menu selection and scrolling button. I'm going to keep the antenna cables tidy using these Velcro straps. Just cut them off, they're a little bit too long. Right, that's a lot tidier. Connect the antenna cables up. These are known as SMA connectors. Screw that onto there. Just hand tight is enough. Right, put the router on. Oh no, we'll put the power connector in. That's it. The final part of the installation is the 12-volt power supply. Well, I've purchased this off eBay. It's a 3-way splitter. Could have gone for a 2-way, but I wanted a 3-way because that third one's for a future project. This is the 12-volt power lead that came with the router base. That is a 5.5 by 2.5. There are 5.5 by 2.1, but they won't fit. It needs to be a 2.5 because they connect together like that. Right, I'm going to connect one splitter into the router, disconnect the amplifier, the other splitter into the amplifier. That leaves this one spare, and then the amplifier into the splitter, and then I'll tidy the wiring up. The cables are looking a lot tidier. I'll lift the antenna mast to its maximum height, and as you can see, there's lots of play in the cable. I've come across something that might be of interest to Swifton Coachman owners. I was on the Vision Plus website, click menu, instructions, and here are instructions for a Status 570 with AM module. OEM, that's original equipment manufacturers, for Swifton Coachman. Open that, and out of the mast are 3 cables, a white coax for TV, a black coax for radio, and a red cable that powers a radio module that's built into the antenna head. So if you have got a Swift or a Coachman with this setup, the black coax lead goes direct from the antenna to the radio, and the red AM module wire is no longer required. And you're likely to have a VP2 TV amplifier without a radio output. So what you'll need to do is purchase a minimum of a VP3, which has a radio output, or a VP5, which also has a radio output with the colour changing signal finding LED. Or better still, whether you're going for the 4G or 5G Wi-Fi system, purchase the full kit like I've done, because you're going to get the very latest VP5 amplifier with the array of signal finding LEDs. I'll quickly show you what you need to do. Make sure the power's switched off, snip the red wire, put a bit of heat shrink on the end, apply a bit of heat and tuck that out the way. The black radio coax, snip that off. Fit an F connector by preparing the cable first, fit the F connector and screw that onto the radio output of the amplifier. Connect the white coax cable from the antenna to the antenna input, and that's all you have to do. And now the radio receives its signal direct from the amplifier rather than the antenna. We're going away soon, so on site what I'll do is take the SIM card out the phone, insert it into the router, activate it, and we'll see what happens. We'll see you on site then. We're on site, and as TV reception goes, I'll turn the power on at the TV amplifier. There's a red and orange LED on. So I'll lift the aerial and see if that gives us a better reception. Yeah, 1 green LED, 2. That's maximum height, so it's staying at 2, we're not getting 3. I'll rotate it, no, we're losing signal there. Rotate it, no. So it looks like 2 out of 3 green LEDs, so that's a good reception. I'll show you the signal gain control. It's on maximum at the moment. I'll turn it towards minimum, and it's losing signal, look. And that's minimum, so it's lost signal there, so I'll turn it back to maximum. I'll see if we can get the router working now. I'll turn the power on at the power base and see what comes up on screen. Battery charging symbol. Well, in the instructions it does say it's got an internal battery and it gives you up to 2.5 hours of uninterrupted connectivity. I'll turn it off, I'll take the router off and we'll have a look at the SIM. I forgot to bring the quick start guide, so what I've done, I've gone onto the Vision Plus website and downloaded the instructions. There are 26 pages, but I'll just show you the first 2. It does say here, this modem uses a micro SIM card. But if I scroll down here, it says gently push the nano SIM card into the card slot. I'll show you the different types of SIM card. Here are the 3 different SIM sizes: the mini, the micro and the nano. Although the instructions are contradicting, saying micro and nano, it actually takes the nano. The instructions are to make sure the router is turned off. I'll take the cover off the SIM card slot, and then it does tell you to insert the SIM card that way on. So that's facing upwards and the cutout is to the front. Push that in. And now I'll press and hold the on-off button for 5 seconds. Powering on. 5G Wi-Fi starting up. I'll put that back on there. I'll switch the power back on so it's charging. My operator. So use the menu button, password, join Wi-Fi network, Vision Plus, join. Well, I'm getting a full Wi-Fi symbol, you can see it in that top corner. I'm going to try the internet. I'll go for Caravan Club. It works. It's simple as that. Well, that was the 2.4 gigahertz. If I press the select button, it changes the QR code to 5 gigahertz. Well, the difference is the 2.4 gigahertz has a better range but slower speed, and the 5 gigahertz has a shorter range but a faster speed. To wake the screen up, I'll briefly press the on-off button. As you can see, EE is the provider. The upload and download speeds, we've used a total of 2.44 gigabytes of data in the past 5 hours. That's the internal battery, the time, and here you can see the 4G signal is stronger than the 5G. So to get to the menu's lit up, just press select, which is the top of the button, and there's your menu, and use the lower part of the button to scroll through all the menu settings. And then on to cancel and select. That's back to the home screen. I wasn't happy with some of the clips on the last holiday, so fast forward to this next holiday. Let's see how the router performs. Before I show you the router, because we're at a different caravan site, I'd like to show you the TV amplifier and the radio, because we're overlooking a valley and I can just about make out 3 transmitter masts just on the horizon. So now I'll show you the radio. I've tried tuning into AM stations and I can only find one. I don't know what it is, but I'll unmute it. That's that one. And then FM. So the radio's working okay. The aerial mast is in its travel position and I'm getting a full TV signal. It does say in the manual, if you get a strong signal and picture interference, turn the variable gain control down. Now, I'm not getting any picture interference, so I'm okay. But if I turn that down, it reduces the signal, like I shown you earlier, as you can see there, look. But I'm going to leave it on maximum because we've got a good picture. I've got 2 4K videos running, our Whitby video and our Seaview Country Park video at Hornsea, and they're both going through the Vision Plus router. Put the screen on, and as you can see, I've got full 5G signal and the 4G showing 3 bars out of 4. Well, that's brilliant. I'm really pleased with this. Well, we're back off holiday. What I did find out is once I'd taken the SIM out of the phone and inserted it into the router, it wasn't possible to make or receive calls the normal way using the phone app. But you can make or receive calls via WhatsApp. I know it works because I've tried it. Well, the only other alternative is to purchase a second SIM and insert it into the router. Well, to conclude the video, well, this Wi-Fi kit came out at just the right time for me. I'd been looking at Wi-Fi systems for a while now, but they all relied on an extra aerial on the roof, meaning drilling a hole through the roof. Not a problem, but I've never been keen on the idea of having an extra aerial there. And the router, this is simplicity. It ain't got aerials stuck out in all directions. Very neat, it's just like a mobile phone. And now we've got an all-in-one aerial bringing in the signal from outside into our Caravan. I'm really pleased with it. I'm keeping the old antenna and amplifier because the Wi-Fi system was simple to fit, and that means it'll be simple to transfer into another Caravan. Well, I hope you found this video interesting and informative. I'll see you again soon. I'm keeping the old antenna and I'm keeping the old antenna and